The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of ParaX, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Good evening and welcome to Illuminating the Paranormal, opening your mind to the possibility. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. I hope you are all staying safe. Well, just as I had promised, out here in the Midwest, we are indeed about to get weird weather-wise. We had some lovely mid-70 degree weather this past weekend, but other than Saturday being gorgeous, it's been raining and in the 60s, but we are predicted to hit our 80s this coming Memorial Day weekend, and we'll probably be staying in the 80s and 90s from there on, because out here in the Midwest, we get a whole 2 weeks of 60 to 70 degree spring weather, and that'll be it. So, for this Memorial Day weekend, what are all of you guys going to be doing? I know my daughter is going to come back up from Terre Haute for a couple-day visit. She was with us for the most part while we were all quarantining or staying safe, staying inside, which I have been. I've been a good girl. It has not been easy. And yes, I have picked up scissors and started to cut my hair. I now currently have a mullet because I cannot see the back, but the top and the sides are nice and short, but the back is nice and long, so I now have a Midwest mullet. So I'm also hoping Kelly brings me up some steaks, because we're kind of having some trouble getting some red meat, or especially steaks, up here in the northern Indiana. We are I don't know why. Every time I go to different places and order it and go to pick it up, they never seem to have any. So she says she has some down there in southern Indiana. She's going to try and bring me up some. Yes, I'm a carnivore and proud of it. I like my veggies, people. Don't get me wrong. But I like my steak and probably will till the day I pass. Well, enough about me. I have a fantastic friend here tonight. This friend is Scotty Rorek. He is a psychic medium whose mission is to bring spiritual understanding to people searching for answers. He works toward that mission through education, mediumship, and mentoring. In addition to that, Mr. Rorek provides insightful lectures at paranormal psychic conventions. He is also the host of The Paranormal Match Game. As a medium, Mr. Rorek provides messages to many people for their comfort, assurance, and guidance, both as individual and group readings. His mediumship has also been featured in the Booth Brothers documentary, Children of the Grave 2, and soon a documentary, Lily's Cry, a Ghost Walk Studios film. Because of Mr. Rorek's experience with his psychic perceptions, he often guides and mentors others who are trying to understand and use their own psychic abilities. His care and concern for others is central to his mission. Scotty, my friend, how are you this evening?
I am great, thank you. It's surprising that you guys even can walk outside. You're here in Madison. We're still under severe lockdown. We can't go out. We're not supposed to.
Yeah, I am less than 5 minutes from the Michigan border, and they are still totally locked down.
Yeah, they are extremely locked down.
Yeah, they are.
They're one of the root states. So.
We have a little bit. Of course, Walmart's always been open. When they first people started to go back out, we saw nobody with masks. And it's just been in the past week or two that we're seeing people with masks. And I've seen them turn people away from the kitchen. We sit out there and wait for our groceries to be brought out to us. We're not going in. So I actually saw 3 young girls attempt to go into the store, and the guy at the door said, he's shaking his head, holding up a mask that he pulled out, and they're shaking their heads, and he said no, and told them they couldn't come in. So, way to go, Walmart. I'm proud of you for sticking up for us. So, but yeah. Hey, I wanted to say I'm sorry. I missed last night's Psychic Unite meeting on Zoom, but Tim and I are kind of remodeling around here, and the new washer was coming today. The rugs are getting clean, and it was just one of those days of deconstruct everything and get it ready for the new stuff or the cleaning of the rugs, and it was just so much to get done. Now that the washer's here, we got to get that hooked back up. The rugs are clean, so we got to put everything back on the rugs now. But hey, that's for tomorrow. Tonight's for you guys. So, but hey, I know I mentioned Psychic Unites before on here, but the Psychic Unite meeting that I'm talking about with Scotty, Scott, would you explain what Psychic Unites is all about, please?
Sure. It was it was founded by my wife, Terry, for the purpose to kind of make sure that everyone has a place to go, a place to feel comfortable, a place to feel accepted with their gifts. It's for we talked about ghost hunting a lot last night, so it was really kind of a fun meeting. But ghost hunters go to it, psychics go to it, mediums. I mean, when I talk about psychics, I use it as a spectrum, kind of like autism is a spectrum. I call everything that we do we're on the spectrum. One side, you're an empath, the other side, you're talking to the dead. But everyone's somewhere in between.
Right.
But anyway, so Psychics Unite was created, and we have about 12 groups out there right now, and it was created for a community, a place to go, a place where if when I saw spirits in the 60s, it wasn't a great time. I had nowhere to go. I had nobody to talk to. You have all this stuff happening to you, and you just don't have anywhere to go. And Psychics Unite's the place to go. Terry and I like to call it AARP for psychics, or AA for psychics.
Sorry.
You can get your coin after a while if you're really good. It
is good, and I fell in love with the idea when you and Terry were talking about it, because you and we go to a lot of different paranormal conferences. We travel all over the country, and how many times have we been somewhere like New Orleans, and somebody will come up to us in tears asking for help with their gift or their child's gift because they don't know how to work with it or where to begin. And you know what? We're there for 24 to 48 hours. It's not like it's something that we can help them with right then and there. It's a long process to work with somebody. So having this and slowly, we started off with 2 or 3 groups, and now we're up to what? How many groups now?
I think it's about 12 now.
12. So that our goal is so that no matter where we are in the country, if we're somewhere and someone comes up to us asking for help, we can say, it's okay. We're here for you. There's a group. Yep. And we can call them right then and there and get them in touch with that person so that they have someone who understands. There is no greater joy than being somewhere with this group and watching people come in for the first time, and you see their heads down, they talk in whispers, their shoulders are up, they're scared to talk, and by the end of the group, their shoulders are down, they're smiling, they're laughing, they have tears in their eyes of joy because they found their people. They found people who understand. So this group is fantastic. I love it.
That was the main thing of your first meeting. was we had
Yes.
two ladies who are in their 70s who have never told anybody, told them and started crying because it's the first time in 70 years they've been able to tell somebody that they've had these gifts. So that was so incredible.
Yes.
And that's just one group. I mean, it happens all the time, every week.
Yes.
It gives people a place to go that they're not judged. They're not, we accept all. We take you in. And then everyone always goes. Even in our Zoom meetings, everyone goes, "This might sound weird." Yeah, everybody says it all the time, and we all go, "No, it doesn't."
Nope.
I already heard it.
Right. And what's nice about it is, even though the group is called Psychics Unite, we welcome anybody and everybody with gift, because you wouldn't believe how many other people probably have the same gift within the group, or they know somebody. And even if you don't feel you have gift, but you're curious, or I even say those people who are, they don't believe in any of it and they just want to see what this is all about, come in. If you're curious, right. You just want to know, you just want to understand, come on in. I want you to come in. I want you to find the information that you're looking for. So, yes, but you know what, guys? Because everybody's still on lockdown or in versions of lockdown, the Psychic Unite meetings are on Monday nights. They are 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Central Time, and they are on Zoom. And what I'm going to do is, when Scotty posts the next one, I'm going to post it on Illuminating the Paranormal's Facebook page, and all you guys have to do is click on the highlighted link to go to the Zoom, and it'll walk you through it. It is super simple. I was worried the first time, and it just click, you're in the meeting. And you don't have to, like me, I have a face for radio, so I keep my video off. But some people do, some people don't. But you get to meet up with people from all over the country that are talking about gift, things that are going on in their lives, good things they're struggling with. So it's a good thing. You and Terry did a good thing. So, yes.
You. Part of the family, because that's how that's how we grow. I mean, we have the farthest west group we have in Albuquerque, New Mexico now. So them all over. So it's fun. It's just great, because someday we want to be in every major city. So when you go there, you can go to meetings. Just like the ERP or just like.
Right.
Look it up. There they are. There's where to go.
Family, no matter where you go.
It's all the same. We all just want everybody to feel normal and accept it, and have understanding for working with spirit and working with ghosts and that type of stuff. I can't tell you how many ghost hunters that we have had.
Oh, yeah.
Join us that now, have gifts, and they always had gifts, but they always hid it behind ghost hunting. Now it comes out. So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing to see those stories, too.
Oh, yeah. And like you said, it is almost like an AA meeting, because people nobody stands up, but it's almost like psychic medium. My name is Tina. It's just everybody kind of introduces themselves, and we're all starting to get to know each other. And having the Zoom meeting now, even though we're all kind of, like I said, stuck at home, it's kind of cool, because I'm meeting people from all over the country, and we all, like I said, it's a big family. We love it. So yes, I will put.
And we're looking at continuing that going forward.
I
too.
love it.
Even when we get our local meetings, we continue to have one night a month probably, where we can have all company meetings. Enjoy everybody, because this is good. And then down the road that we're thinking about is, what if we get like a big name speaker? Then we can have every group come in and come join.
There we go.
One speaker for everybody. So there's a lot of things that's teaching us, this lockdown is teaching us that we would have never done before. So I think it's been great. That we've had the time to really focus on spirit. But I mean, even in that same sense, I think that's some of the big things, in the spiritual awakening, I call it, because that's what I think coronavirus is. Spirit kind of guiding us because it's a time where we've all been able to take it a little bit easier than we normally do, not other than the people that are on the front lines, and we thank them for all their hard work that they've done. But, I mean, the rest of us are at home, locking down, not doing much. But Spirit has always come to all of us. And when we've locked down, those people that don't normally hear Spirit because they're too busy running the kids here, doing that, doing this, they're sitting there, and all of a sudden, here comes Spirit. Now they hear it. Now they don't know what to do with it. And that's why we want to be there for them. So.
Yes, very much so. That's why I love it. So, yes, the next Zoom meeting for Psychics Unite, which will be this coming Monday, I will post it on Illuminating the Paranormal's Facebook page. So you guys hop over there and you'll see the link. But usually, Scotty, you should do it like towards the end of the week, right?
Yep, I usually do it either Saturday or Sunday. I post it, and then you can have it by Monday all day.
Perfect. So, guys, this weekend, hop on over to Illuminating the Paranormal's page on Facebook, and you'll see the link, and then whatever time zone you're in, like I said, it's 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, so whatever time zone you're in, go over there, click on that link, and just follow the steps. It is super simple. So, I have some questions for you, Scotty. I want to know, and this is weird because I don't think I've ever asked you this. All the time we've known each other is when. This is true. This is very true. When did you start hearing or experiencing the dead or the spirits? I mean, when did you know? When did you start hearing them?
In the modern age, or I always call it BS before Scotty.
Okay. Well, when can you think back? When was the most profound time when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to spirit? When did you know?
Well, I've been able to talk to spirit my whole life. That's the crazy thing. I can remember from age 5 on, and 6 when I started school for the first time, and my kids in the neighborhood, I would talk to them about spirits because I tell them about the grandparents that weren't around anymore. And how do you know that? My grandpa's dead. I said, well, he came into my room that night and told me. So when I was a kid, I lived in a ranch house like I do now, and my bedroom was down in the left side of the back hallway, which is the room now. It's kind of funny how it still is. But at night, I would, if I left my door open, spirit would come in the room and sit on my bed and we would talk. It was just crazy. And but then as time went on, I kind of figured it out, and I still do it now when I teach my students about taking time and being able to set boundaries with spirit. Because I found out if I shut my door, they wouldn't come in. So it's my way of doing it. So all my students now, we always talk about shutting the door, about setting your expectations. You can't do this all the time. There's times when you don't need spirit around you, even though they're there.
Right. I know there's something you and I both do. There's something you and I both do. And I kind of laughed the first time I was at a paranormal conference. And, we set up, then we go to our hotel that night. And I'm walking into the hotel, and I see Scotty walk in the hotel, and we both look at each other, and we both have fans in our hands, and we start laughing because we know we both have a fan in our hands for the same reason. We didn't have to tell each other.
We know exactly what it was for.
Tell everybody, why do we use fans?
I'm on the air with you right now, and I have a fan under my room so that I only hear you. So. Yeah.
Yes. When we go to sleep at night, even if you have your door shut, sometimes you can hear them past the door. Or I even ask my guides or like my people that are with me, I ask them to not let them in, to kind of be guards at the door. And sometimes I can hear them talking to whomever on the other side, like, no, she's sleeping, you can't. But if I have the fan on, I really can't hear
I
it.
don't hear that. I don't
No.
either. That's so funny. It's kind of like, you got to stay away. Why don't you shut up? I can tell you.
I think my favorite is even over the fan. I don't know if you've experienced this, but I've talked to other people who do. Do you ever hear them playing music? Or it sounds like a radio, but it's not. It's actual music. Do you hear that sometimes?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I do.
But, I mean, sometimes it's like rock. Sometimes it's music from like the 1920s. It's like, oh my God, turn the fan up higher.
Most of the time I hear either Big Bang or 20s music.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that was my last life here. So I was living in the 20s, and my spirit guide and I were married. So it's okay. All right. I do have a question from the chat room. Tabby would like to know. I'm waving, by the way. I know.
Yeah, that you guys can see it, but he's waving. Not that I can see him either. But Tabby has a question. What method or technique do you use to block out unwanted or overly persistent spirits besides the fan?
My spirit guide, I think, is the biggest one. My relationship with Steve. Steve is my spirit guide. That's not his real name, but we were from Greece in our previous life. And he said to me, I couldn't pronounce his name, and she just said, "You can just call me Steve." I said, "Okay, Steve." So he's been Steve ever since. But I think Steve, and working with him as one of my gatekeepers, one of my protectors, I think he does really well keeping people away or bringing them in. I mean, on the other hand, there's times when I need to bring spirits through that I'm having a hard time, and he'll go try to find or try to help pull them in. So, both ways. I mean, but the other thing is meditation, of course, bring spirit in and block too. So, the more that I'm under my own energy, the better I'm going to be at controlling spirit. So, meditation, I think, is the biggest thing for anybody that's learning anything or having hard times with spirit. Meditate, just become stronger.
Okay, I like that. Well, and because you're more in tune with who you are, it also helps you to be more in tune with your spirit guides. And that's one thing I can tell anybody with gift. The one thing you want to do is get to know your spirit guides and keep asking what their name is. Yes, I have one too, just like Scotty, that I will probably never be able to pronounce or say her name. And she just kind of smiles and does this laugh. And she's actually my Reiki guide. And I know she's from India because I can't see her face, but I can see her arms. They're a darker skin. She's got a lot of bangle bracelets, which I can hear. And she smells like cardamom. And so to me, that's her. But my main guide, his name is Glenn. And I know that because after 6 weeks of asking, finally, I must have just tuned in the right way because I hear, my name is Glenn with 2 N's. I was like, okay, that's pretty specific. So if I had just heard my name is Glenn, I probably would have said, oh, okay, was that just me making something up? But, for someone to say with 2 N's, I was like, okay, I've got Glenn. So yeah, that's always a good one. So
that's too funny.
I know. So yes. Besides, you guys want to learn to meditate, relax, get down into the zone, work with your guides. You can use them as somebody to kind of help to block things. Ask them to step between from time to time. But let me ask you, Scotty, has there ever been
But before you get into that, the other thing is your intent. So that's the other thing. So you have once you understand your energy and how you are, then you have to set your intent, and then the spirits will stay away because Just like anywhere else, if they're not wanted, they're not, if you don't listen, they're not going to come. So it's the intent of what you want.
Yeah. Say it. Say, I'm sorry, I'm alive. I need to sleep. You need to go. I can talk to you at another time. Not now.
Yep.
So, set your intent. Let them know. But let me ask, has there ever been a time that you were actually afraid that someone or something was threatening you? I mean, have you ever been afraid?
No, not of spirit. I've been afraid of humans all the time. But no, not a spirit. I mean, I had some nasty, around me. I mean, because I don't. So all your listeners know, I don't believe in hell. It's just not a concept of mine. I'm a spiritualist, and it's just not where we come from. We believe that all spirits, can, go to the other side and stay there in love, and the universe loves them, and they're forgiven, and so that's kind of what we believe. But I think some of the nastier spirits that I've dealt with was like Herb Baumeister from Fox Hollow Farm, right there in Indiana, right from your state, in Indianapolis. So that he by far was the most creepiest spirit I ever dealt with. Liz Regan from Indiana, Deb Lance. Her and I were the first two mediums ever allowed into Fox Hollow Farms. And we were there, and she was there with her son, too. And he came up, creeping up right behind them. And they were standing on the stairs, and I was looking up the stairs at them. And from then on, it was just creeped up. I saw him, right away coming down the stairs. And most people don't see him, and I saw him. And it ended up for the next week. He kept putting the same dreams to both Deb and I, and we call each other up every day going, "Oh, did you have that dream last night?" "Yeah, I had that dream." We had all the details. It was just one of those things. He was just trying to bug us, and we were just, and together we were too strong for him, but he ended up leaving us alone, within a week. But I think that was probably my most creepiest one I've dealt with. And I did automatic. I did spirit writing through him and let him use my hand to draw a picture, and he drew this picture for the homeowners with these eyes that were dug them so deep that they cut the paper for the eyes.
Wow.
And Bishop Long was there watching me do that as it was happening, and it was incredible. We still talk about it. It was a creepy night for all of us.
Sounds it. It sounds very creepy. I've had some similar stuff like that.
Gay guys at his house, he's head of a grocery store chain in Indianapolis, and he goes to the club when his family's out of them, brings gay guys home and kills them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tough one.
Yeah. Okay. Don't want to think about that one. I admit I have not been to Fox Hollow Farm. It is one of the ones on my list to go to. I am going to do Willow's Weep, though, next month. So, yeah, we'll have to do that sometime. We'll have to make it
get us in there.
Yeah. I also want to go back to. I've been to Collingwood many times with the coming in for the Paracon, but I've never been there to investigate at night. Not that I think there's anything bad or creepy there. It just seems to have a lot of people there that have passed and seem to. But that's the way it is with a lot of theaters too. But there just seems to be something there that's drawing me back for some reason. Somebody's got something to say to me, and I just need to find the time to be there to listen. So, I'm gonna have to do that. But you know what, Scotty? Can we take a very quick break, and then when we come back, I've got a couple more questions to ask you, and I think we'll have some more questions from the chat room too. So, guys, let's do that. Let's take ourselves a little bit of a break here. And just to let you know, you are listening to Illuminating the Paranormal on ParaX with my guest, Scotty Rorek. And we will be right back.
Your source for everything paranormal. ParaX.
Hey, this is Lee.
And this is Michelle.
And this is Dustin from the Dead Zone.
Your source for everything paranormal. ParaX.
I found it at last! Marla's Sacred Cauldron. This is the legendary artifact that has been whispered about in hushed tones for hundreds of years, and now it's mine! All mine!
Who dares defile the sanctity of my castle walls? Step away from the cauldron, you impertinent, muddy-metaled maltworm.
Never! I've spent half my lifetime trying to discover your age-old secret of stirring the cauldron.
Oh, for Merlin's sake, that's no deep, dark secret. Just tune into the ParaX Radio Network Thursday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern for more cauldron stirring than you can shake a wand at.
Oh, well, in that case, I guess I don't need to take up any more of your time, so I guess I'll be going.
Not just yet. We've got a little unfinished business to take care of.
That's Stirring the Cauldron with Marla Brooks every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on the ParaX Radio Network.
And welcome back, everyone, to Illuminating the Paranormal. My name is Tina Marie, and my guest tonight is my really good friend, Scotty Rorek. And just so you guys are aware, Scotty can do, and definitely does, readings. If you guys are interested, you can go to Scotty Rorek on Facebook. He has a Facebook page, says Scotty Rorek Psychic Medium. That is his business page, and you can get in touch with him there, and you can set up a reading with him. And I've had some friends that have done readings with him, and I hear nothing but praise, and I know he's a good guy. He has a fantastic heart, a sweet smile, and he will definitely make you laugh. So, yes, check him out at facebook.com, Scotty Rorek Psychic Medium. So, Scotty, we were kind of talking about, whether or not you had ever come across something that you might be threatened, and you had said, no, there really wasn't. There was somebody a gentleman from Fox Follow Farms that was kind of nasty, but not bad. But let me ask you, have you ever come in contact with, or do you believe there are other things out there besides spirit?
No, I don't believe. That's my biggest thing. I'm not, in the 15 years now that I've been out into the field. I mean, my first investigation ever was 1993, so I've been doing this for a little bit, so it's been a while. But I've never, ever encountered anything like that, or I would call that. I'm not saying that there's evil to do. Gentleman $5 farms to me was evil.
No.
And I think that there's a lot out there that is a lower vibration than us. But see, now I'm talking difference now. I'm talking ghosts and I'm talking spirits. When I talk about both, they're not, to me, not the same thing. That's the one that's crossed over all the way over.
Right.
A ghost is a person that's crossed out of their flesh, but not all the way to the other side. And I think that's where it's like the guy at Fox Hollow Farms, or he's still a ghost. He can't be crossed all the way over and be anything other than love. You know,
yeah.
You come back. So, like in readings and stuff, if I'm getting the grandpa that comes through, he still might be the character that he was. Might still swear and all that type of stuff. But if he didn't swear and came through the way to remember him, then you would think I was talking about something different. So spirits still come through similar to they were, but their purpose is so much different. Their purpose in readings is for love and guidance and kind of like putting the foot in your butt when you're having problems and you're not listening to yourself. You know, spirit gives you that kick. Where ghosts, on the other hand, they're a way different beasts. I mean, they can hold on to the earthly emotions. They can hold on to the hate, the anger, the revenge, and that type of stuff. And they'll do anything they can, up until evil. I mean, really can try to do things to you as they would have done in life. So they're two different, but I don't believe that there are creatures that come in and do it unless they're aliens. And but that's a whole other show.
Right. Agreed, very much so. I do have a question from the chat room. Our lovely Tabby has another very good question. She wants to know, do you think spirits that are considered residual can be reached to communicate?
Good question.
That's what I told her.
Congratulations. Nice. Go ahead. Residual, though, I don't. Because I don't, unless that spirit is with somebody that's there. Because I don't think, okay, first of all, residual is just energy. And I think that's left there. That's a residual that's just energy that's left. Like at 9/11, there's a lot of, down in New York, there's a lot of residual energy there, And I
been
think
there.
that
Yes.
I think most of those spirits there have crossed over. So we could talk to them as a spirit, yes, but then it goes. And it's depending on if they want to come back and talk with anyone there, unless their loved ones there, that most people don't come around.
Right.
So I mean that's the same thing as why are ghosts in cemeteries? The only reason ghosts are in cemeteries because you're in the cemetery.
Right. It's they're following the people who are there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's who spirits are, and ghosts are there too because they see you and you're the one that stole their money and now they're mad and they're going to bug you and haunt you in your house, Well, yeah, that's true. That happens. So, that to me is not great, but that happens too. So if you're able to define the residual energy, yes, you could talk to the spirit, but in most cases, I think they're overarching residuals that are just caught. Like the spirit walking down the hallway every night at 2 a.m.
They're an imprint. They're just an imprint.
Right. They're just a replay of a TV show or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or simple like that. Whereas, the difference between ghosts and spirits, I think that's part of what people are talking about too.
But now, could you follow?
Never come back bad. What?
Right. Could you or I follow the residual to the spirit if they were willing? That's something I'd never thought about. like a lifeline, like a string. As in, you know how they're,
If we see that's our grandma, okay, let's just say we see grandma every night at 3 a.m, imprint walking down the hallway. Can we find grandma and talk with her? Yeah.
Okay.
So we would have to know who that spirit is, or that imprint is, or that residual. We'd have to really understand who that is. And I haven't done that work. Once I understand that it's not an intelligent haunt, then I'm not just going to try to deal with it, because I don't really need to know who that imprint is unless it needs something. You know what I mean? That's a good question, though.
Right. Yeah.
I've not worked with that. I mean, first one ever. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, most of the time, I'm going to work with the spirits that are in the house that are communicating to me.
Right.
For the
exactly.
Way, because I have a better chance of solving what's happening there than working on residual energy to find that it was grandma, and then grandma's not in the building. So we did all that work not to be able to solve anything, because every night you're still going to see grandma at 2 a.m. You know
yeah. Yep.
So I think overall, it's easier to work with the spirits that are there.
Well, I'm going to switch gears here a little bit. Now, you guys all know that Scotty is a psychic medium, and he, like I said, we do go to a lot of different paranormal conferences, a lot of the same ones, but Scotty's also infamous for something else. Scotty created and does host the Paranormal Match Game. Tell everybody what the Paranormal Match Game is.
Okay, it's amazing. It kind of ties in with you and your radio network. So let's start here. So, I originally had a show, like I said, almost 11 years ago on the PRX Radio Network, right when it first started. I was one of the first show hosts on the network. So I got my start, and I thanked them all for the wonderful start where I was. And I had a show called Spooks Are Us. That was my show on PRX. And we did a show on there, and we did comedy bits. We had our own As Your Turns. We had that where we created a soap opera every week with characters and drama and stuff. So we had that playing, and we did a lot of weird things. And then the one that I created was, I've always been a big fan of the Match Team from the 70s with Gene Rayburn and Red Summers and all of them. You know, it's just a wonderful show. It's out now with the guy who plays Trump on Saturday Night Live. I forget the.
I rarely watch it, so.
Anyway, so it's out now too. It's it's current to it. They have another version of Match Game out. They've been having them every few years they come out, but it's where celebrities, you got a panel of celebrities, and then you got two contestants, and I, as the host, will give you questions, and you have to. And I give it to the celebrities first. They'll answer, put the cards in the spot, and then you give me the answer, and you have to match the most. And the one who matched the most after 2 rounds wins.
Yes.
So we've been doing it since, I think my first Paranormal Match Game show was on my radio show in 2009.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is funny, guys. Some of the questions are just outrageous. Some of the answers are even more outrageous. But everybody has a good time. Go on YouTube, put in Paranormal Match Game, because I believe there are a couple videos of the match games that have happened. And they are hilarious. If you can find the one from Mid-South last year, actually, the first time I ever did it, and I think that one is up there too, is it was also at Mid-South. It was 2 or 3 years ago. And the very first time I ever did it, I sat next to a nearly naked Scott Grunwald. I can't remember if he was either a swimsuit or his underwear, but there was not a lot to the imagination.
I think this is underwear.
thank God him and I are friends, because, I mean, when you look at the video, you're going to see what looks like a naked man next to me with a beard on. That's about it. It was just crazy.
We did one at Tim Miley's event, I think it was like 8 or 9 years ago now, when Grunwald was doing it, and he actually lit his chest hair on fire during the match.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
all the questions, and we make fun of everybody. We make fun of myself. We make fun of all the guests.
Oh, everybody.
We just have a great time. My wife Terry and I have written all the questions, and we just love it. It's a great time. It's a fun game show. It's a way for people to ask questions, and you can interact with them and see them being silly and just having a good time, out of their element, and not just talking about those, just having fun.
Yeah. The second one I ever did was, again, at Mid-South, but it was the next year. And I know that one's on YouTube. But I teamed up with Bill Reap. And we were in the back row. And in the front row is Joe Chin. Let me tell you guys, Joe is a funny guy. He is a good friend. He is so much fun to be around. So if you ever get to meet Joe Chin, just go up and shake his hand. He is one heck of a guy. Anyway, Bill Reap. But by the way, guys, Bill Reap and his wife Christian will be my guests next week on my show. Bill Reap and I, for every single question that Scotty asked us, our answer was Joe Chin. Something being on the lawn of the White House. What should it be? Joe Chin. Just silly questions. Every single thing that you asked was Joe Chin. And the funny thing is it kind of fit. And Joe laughed it did. And Joe laughed his butt off. He thought it was so fun. So yeah, if you guys get a chance, hop on YouTube, look for Paranormal Match Game. They're funny. And wear your pair of Depends, because they are that funny. Because we can't ask some of the questions that Scotty asks. Not on this show, no, not on the air. But
we do a lot of double entendres, that's for sure. I mean, we get kind of dirty. Some of them get really dirty. Like the one at Silcon, like the one we did at Silcon in Central Illinois, Becky's event, and we did it there, and that one was too dirty. So I don't know if that'll ever give airtime.
Probably not. That one even kind of shocked me a little bit, but it was fun.
It was fun as heck, but
it was fun.
And that was Bill Reed's fault too, and Christy. So right there, both of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Bill is a funny guy. He's a big guy, a fantastic investigator, him and his wife. And so next week will be a really good show as well. But yes, Bill is a fun guy to be around, because he acts all big, rough, and tough, but he's not. He's a funny teddy bear guy. Yes, exactly.
I had him on last week on my video show that I do now. So Scotty talks about, and I just talk about stuff. And so that's on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock on the Shadow Hunters Paranormal page. I do it with their group. That's one of my groups that I'm in. I'm in multiple groups. I'm in like 5 groups. But any paranormal group that I join, I only join the ones that I trust, the ones that are doing the right work. So I'm not members of every team in the world. I will only do ones that I totally believe in.
So yeah, I have a lot of teams that I work with. I'm not a member of any of them, but yeah, I do work with a lot of teams too. But I do have a question from the chat room. Now, I put my answer in the chat room, but Tabby has another very good question. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it was Sherry. I apologize, Sherry. Sherry asked a question. Do deaf people who have passed over, who do regain the ability to hear you, do they do that? I mean, somebody who was deaf in life, after they have passed, do they regain the ability to hear?
Yes.
Okay.
And so deaf people can actually hear spirits.
Mm-hmm. They can.
Because you don't necessarily use your ears and your ears.
Exactly.
You use your mental thoughts, and And you can hear that way too. You can hear, like, if you ever thought something in your head, you're not, when you talk to yourself, you hear yourself. And most of the times that's how spirit comes through, is in that talking, sense. So that's not using your ears or your drums. So, but yes, deaf people can. Deaf people, we don't carry any of our earthly inflictions with us when we pass.
Right.
If somebody has a disability, or didn't have one leg, they're going to show me that, they're going to show me that they don't have a leg. That way I can say, oh, this is your uncle without the leg. And they go, oh, okay, yeah, that one. Just to get more validation. But it's not that he doesn't have a leg on the other side.
Right. I will have to say, what I had answered was this, and tell me how you feel about my answer. She had asked about, whether or not people who are deaf in life, if they're deaf after they pass, and whether or not they can hear you. So I had said, yes, they can hear you, just like those who were special needs. They return to who they were, who they really are energy-wise when they pass over and ascend. And once they ascend to a certain level, once somebody has just passed, once somebody has just died, they're almost kind of still themselves. But as they start to cross completely over and ascend to the levels, they heal. They heal and they become who they actually are, their original energy self. Yes.
Right, and I call that life review, that period.
Yes.
Some religions call it purgatory, but I don't believe that it lasts as long as, that religion with purgatory calls it. But you go to a place, you ascend to a higher level. That's why you always want to be of your highest self here, and you always want to remember that when you pass. You always want to remember your highest self and where you want to go, because that's the level you go to when you cross over too. You want to keep ascending. You want to get back to your highest self.
Right. Exactly.
When they first die, they're very similar to what they were, but later they come back as this ascended love person, and they're usually going to project themselves as a younger person or wherever they thought they looked the best.
Exactly.
They're going to come back with no issues, and that's why they end up telling us of these issues, because you won't know grandma with one eye if I see her with two eyes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that doesn't give you validation that I'm talking to the right grandma. Exactly.
I've had one that we ran an investigation, and everybody kept telling me, "Oh yeah, the lady who passed away comes all the time." And I said, "Okay." I said, "But I see a little girl with a little white pinafore on and a red and white check dress." Like, cause she reminded me of the dolls my grandmother had, because they had the same type of, little dress on. They're going, "Well, no, it's a lady." I'm going, "Well," then they're just describing her. I said, "Well, it's the same color hair." I said, "But she's about 8 years old." And from then on, nobody ever saw her as a woman. Every psychic that came in, every medium that came in, saw her as a little girl. She came back as the person she was most happy as. The time in her life, she was most happy as an 8-year-old little girl from that night on. So it was kind of cool, but yeah. Yeah, a lot of times they'll come back. Yeah.
We'll come back the way we want to look. We come back in our form, our best.
Exactly. I'm not coming back as my 50-year-old self. I'm coming back as my 18-year-old self, because darn, I looked good then. But, actually, I'm getting really old now.
I look better now than I did then, so I'm going to do the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. So, Scotty, we're getting down to our last couple of minutes here. So, let's remind everybody again, where can they find you if they would like to get a private reading with you?
Yep, multiple places. I'm at ScottyRorek.com is my website, completely updated and done as of last night at 2 a.m. So we got it. We got the website. Every link worked. Everything. Hopefully, all the spelling's done. Banners are up. pictures are up. I got some more to add tonight. I got a couple more shows that just got booked because we're starting to open up.
Nice.
But yeah, you can get me at ScottyRorek.com or Scotty Rorek Psychic Medium on my business page on Facebook, or Scotty Rorek on Facebook, Scotty Rorek on Instagram, Scotty Rorek on Twitter, Scotty Rorek, you name it, I'm around. Just find my name, Scotty Rorek, or Google me. I think I've got like 10 pages of stuff that I've done. And it goes on after that too. So, like a lot of stuff. So yeah, Scotty Rorek, Psychic Medium on Facebook is my business page. I'm offering classes right now in mediumship, and they usually last about 6 weeks, $45 a class. And we use once a week, and then you have homework. My readings are on there. You can schedule time for readings. Yeah, that's kind of where I am. And then I have a show tomorrow night on Shadow Hunters where I just talk about stuff and on video.
Cool.
Yeah, we're with people.
Nice. And plus, guys, keep in mind that if you want Monday nights, 6:30 Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time. That is when the Psychics Unite meeting will be on Zoom. And you guys, I will definitely make sure that the link for that will be at Illuminating the Paranormal's page on Facebook. And all you got to do is click the highlighted and it'll walk you through it. It'll just literally walk you right through it, guys. So, Scotty, we're just about out of time. We're down to like 2 minutes. Thank you so much, my friend. I know. Amazing, right? It just goes so fast. Scotty, will you come back on, darling?
Anytime you want me. Even if somebody cancels, I'll be there.
Oh, I love you. Thank you so much. Scotty is like a brother to me. I love the man to death, and his wife Terry. We're good friends, and I love going to the Paracons. And I walk in, and there they are. And the first thing you get is a hug. The whole family comes to hug you.
I still am, even after all this crap. I'm still giving hugs.
Of course you are. Of course you are, because we love you. You are the man.
You and your husband are amazing. Your family is. I love you guys all dearly.
Oh, thank you.
You've been one of my dearest, best friends for years. I just can't tell you what's done for me in my life and support you've given me and the love.
Of course.
It's amazing.
You're a good man. I love you. Well, guys, hey, we are just about out of time here. Check us out. Facebook.com, Illuminating the Paranormal. Nature's Earthware. Heirloom Haberdashery is on there as well as Three Sisters Smudging, all on Facebook. Come and check us out. I love you guys. Please stay safe. Wash your hands, and I will see you guys next week. My guest will be Bill Reap and his wife Christian, and it'll be another good, fun show. They're great investigators, and I can't wait to see you all back here next week. Love you. Bye.